Welcome to a CNY Wrestling podcast. This is part 3 of the 2016 to 2017 Class C previews.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another CNY Wrestling podcast. This is part 3 of the 2016-2017 Section 3 Class C previews. Thank you guys for joining me as we get to the very end of these class previews with the season start coming right up on November 30th. Like I mentioned, we are wrapping up Class C right here with the final team and the pound for pound and final team rankings. Class C has received some shakeup in recent times with the dropping of 3 teams to Class D. And so now just 10 teams remain in Class C. And since we've already covered 9 of them, we just have one more to cover, and that is the Skaneateles Lakers. And we will get to that right now. Skaneateles is a dangerous team in Section 3, I think. The Lakers were undefeated in dual meets last season and lost just 3 seniors with winning records to graduation. And so the Lakers were a top 5 Class C team and a top 15 Section 3 Division 2 team, and they returned 6 of 8 wrestlers that qualified for sectionals last season. So facts like that make them a team to watch for, as does the fact that the latest New York State qualifier from Skaneateles is among those 6 returning wrestlers from sectionals. We're talking about senior J.W. Simmons, who has really exploded onto the Section 3 scene over the last 2 seasons. As a sophomore, Simmons won over 30 matches and was runner-up in Class C. And last winter as a junior, he improved on that by winning over 30 matches again and winning a Class C championship before running the table to the finals of the Section 3 Division 2 tournament and eventually finishing as the runner-up at 99 pounds. He still managed to get a wild card to the New York State tournament thanks to his performance, and he impressed with a 2-2 showing. He made it to the blood round. He was a win away from being an all-state wrestler. Joining him, junior Joey Brillo may be the Skaneateles wrestler I'm most excited to watch this season, though. He's a middleweight. He already has over 100 career wins as just a junior, and he's already a 4-time Class C placer. Last season, Brillo earned his first Section 3 place finish with a 5th at a very tough 126-pound weight class. And he also proved throughout the year that he can keep any match close and can win the close ones most of the time. I think he can improve to this year to be a contender for sure in Section 3. TJ and Patrick Greenfield are 2 more impactful wrestlers on the Laker roster. TJ is a junior and has won over 25 matches and placed in Class C in his first 2 seasons on Skaneateles. And Patrick is a senior that fought his way through a 5th place finish in Class C to make the semifinals at sectionals and take 5th again at the Section 3 tournament, both of that being last season. 2 more seniors in Ian Frackleton and Joey McIntyre could be key Skaneateles wrestlers following some improvements from last season, where both men won over 20 matches as juniors. Both men also took 3rd at the Liberty Patriot League tournament, and then McIntyre went on to take 4th in Class C and qualified for sectionals. Now, last but not least, junior Christian Daly also deserves a mention after an impressive 25-win season in which he was a Liberty Patriot League runner-up and a 4th place finisher in Class C. So tying this all together, this core of returners is one of the best in Class C, and as a result, I consider Skaneateles to be a legitimate contender for the number 1 spot in Class C. I don't know if they have quite enough firepower to be at the very top, but I have them very close. I'm going to have them 3rd in my projected Class C rankings, which now consider the 10 teams that are going to be in Class C for this season. Now, speaking of rankings, it's time to do the finalized team and pound-for-pound rankings that I do at the end of every class preview with the help of Section 3 wrestler, also known as Isaiah Brookman. We both rank the teams, and then we take the best pound-for-pound wrestlers within the class and rank them as well to give a finalized rankings. We combine our rankings to average them out and see where the teams and wrestlers end up. We will just go ahead and get started now with the team rankings. Because in first place, we both agreed here, the top team in Class C we have as the Adirondack Wildcats. We both had them in first. Coming in second, we both had the Canastota Raiders as Adirondacks' top challenger in Class C. Third place. We have a tie for third place. It's kind of interesting. General Brown, we have tied for third along with Holland Patton. We also had a tie for fifth place between two very interesting teams to watch out for in this upcoming season, the Skaneateles Lakers and Marcellus Mustangs. We had them tied for fifth, beating out a seventh place team in the Hannibal Warriors. And then rounding it out, we had a tie for eighth with Lowville and ABW Pulaski, and they edged out the 10th place team of Jordan Elbridge. So there are your finalized Class C preseason rankings. I like to do these rankings. I mentioned this in another preview because it's just interesting to two heads are better than one, I think, in this situation. So I like that we can create these type of rankings. And now we will move on to the pound for pound rankings. Always interesting to do. Now, initially, Class C, we were going to do a top 15 with 3 honorable mentions like we did in Class B, but since Class C has now dropped some teams, we have done a top 12 with 3 honorable mentions. So there's going to be 15 wrestlers mentioned in these pound-for-pound rankings. From Holland Patent, we considered Hunter Richard and TJ Philpotts. From Canastota, we considered Nick Rouse, Doug Simmons, and Ben Marshall. From Adirondack, we considered Andrew Tanner, Kevin Spann, and Sean Banks. From Marcellus, we considered Alex Zerniak and Riley Donovan. From Skaneateles, we considered Patrick Greenfield and Joey Brillo. From Lowville, we considered Isaiah Rose. And from General Brown, we considered Trevor Snow. I believe that covers all of the 15 wrestlers. And now let's go ahead and show you how we ended up placing them in the rankings. At the very top, the first 4 wrestlers, we actually, both me and Section 3 wrestler agreed on where they would be. In first, we both had Hunter Richard. In second, we had Andrew Tanner. In third, we had TJ Philpotts. And in fourth, we had Kevin Spann. That's a heck of a top 4. They should be sectional favorites. I mean, all of those guys are former New York State qualifiers. We then had a tie for fifth with J.W. Simmons of Skaneateles and Trevor Snow of General Brown. Simmons, a former New York State qualifier. Snow was a sectional runner-up. Coming in next in 7th place is 7th and 8th are both occupied by a pair of Canastota wrestlers. 7th is Ben Marshall and 8th is Doug Simmons. 9th place, Sean Banks of Adirondack. Rounding out the top 10 is Skaneateles' Joey Brillo. We both had him in 10th, and that's where he ends up. And then rounding out the top 12 pound-for-pound preseason Class C wrestlers are Isaiah Rose of Lowville and Nick Rouse of Canastota. Now on to the honorable mentions. The first honorable mention we had was Riley Donovan. He's joined by his teammate Alex Zerniak as another honorable mention. And then the last honorable mention we had was Patrick Greenfield of Skaneateles. Like we said before, he is a former sectional placer. So there are your final preseason Class C pound-for-pound rankings. I hope that you enjoyed these Class C previews. I hope you've enjoyed all these previews that we've done because they are almost over. We've got 3 more to do with Class D, which now contains 14 teams. And so what I believe we're going to do with those is do 5 teams in the first preview, 5 in the second, and then 4 in the rankings in the last one. They shouldn't take too long considering that Class D teams typically have smaller rosters. And so we should be able to get those done before the season starts on November 30th. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this preview, and of course I hope to see you next time.
Check out the CNY Wrestling forums for interviews with Sean Banks of Adirondack and Nate Cronk of APW and Pulaski.